Let's begin with safety matter regarding the crash of a jet in Lagos on Tuesday. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau says it has launched an investigation into the accident involving the J430 light plane that crashed in Ikeja area. The light plane burst into flames while on a test flight, but the two people on board did not die. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide visited the crash site in Ikeja and commended the first responders and residents who assisted in the rescue attempt. Judy, we don't have our record in terms of air mishap has improved.
Seriously,
over time, especially for commercial planes and everything. So in the last how many years, we thank God. But this is just one error that the Accident Investigation Bureau cannot just take lightly, because it came in under, if you watch the video, the middle of Akme Road, Bakran Road, very close to that AP filling station.
You see, we have to give God the glory that the road was largely empty.
Yeah, not around
because what pilots usually do when they know that they have no choice is to start expelling their
options,
aviation fuel.
Okay.
They start expelling
it.
Okay.
So dispatching it.
Yes. Once they start expelling it, at the point of impact, when the crash lands, it will reduce
casualties,
the impact. But this plane, according to investigation, had 4 hours fuel endurance on board. Enough fuel to fly for 4 hours. It had it. So you can imagine if it hadn't expelled, if the pilot hadn't expelled some of the fuel, it would have been catastrophic. And thankfully too, it didn't come down in the filling station. Because if it had come down in the filling station, there would have been serious trouble. Again, the road, maybe because of the fact that fuel is expensive now, a lot of our roads, the traffic has reduced drastically. So
that particular road,
4 o'clock ordinarily, 4 o'clock ordinarily is a busy time. Even 12 o'clock, 12 noon, if you are on that road, there was a time when I used to drive on that road almost every day. You will see traffic, gridlock on both sides. But when it crash landed, it even had enough time to still move before skidding off the road and then ending up in this place. Most pilots try to avoid built-up areas because they know when they crash on built-up areas, it will lead to more deaths. So I guess he steered it. And small planes by nature can even land on the road. In fact, I was told that Americans, after the World War, were building very wide roads so that in case of emergency, they can take off and even land on those very wide highways. So, thankfully, it didn't crash into that filling station. It didn't crash into the UBA beside where it ended up. And it had expelled the fuel. It had expelled the fuel. Otherwise, I'm sure we would not have been talking of no casualty and all that. We have improved in terms of our safety records, just as you said. But small aircraft have been coming down. Since the last time we had the crash of a commercial jetliner.
From the Air Force.
We've been, Air Force, even, there was one that crashed in Ikeja the other day now. Helicopter. Helicopters have been crashing.
This is that video.
This is the thing,
I think there's a CCTV in front of this house that captured the moment. If you watch it very well, you will see now after that trailer, God is so merciful.
You can see the, so then.
Immediately after this trailer, you just see.
He knew it had no choice. So it had enough time to even move a little bit before.
Skidded off the road. And there was a filling station there.
So it's if it was a big aircraft,
Ooh!
Whether it landed on the filling station or not, it will have caused so much destruction in that whole area.
Yes, yes.
And it will have even created a gully.
Yes.
If you saw what happened, that one that came down.
We thank God. This is a place that is well known to all of us. Obakran is a commercial,
very busy,
very busy
on a good day.
Commercially, on a good day, even on a Sunday or Saturday. You have so many eateries there.
Yes.
You know,
and you can use it to link Agege.
Even so many areas.
Use it to link Ogba. Use it to link Agege. Use it to link Adenijo.
Yes.
Acme Road. All of those places.
So it is good, and in the afternoon. And it's very, very close. That's just less than 500 meters to Ikeja bus stop. Where the overhead bridges. If you are climbing, you have to climb Ikeja,
yes.
that distance. So I don't know. I wouldn't say, we can say, look at the efforts of the pilots and probably the co-pilot that they didn't die, which is called Providence. But it goes beyond human comprehension. Because flight, when it comes to issue of aircraft, and once it starts losing altitude, controlling it becomes a big problem for the pilots. And that is why you have seen that, although there have been instances where pilots have tried their best. You remember what happened with the Ethiopia airline that landed in the sea? I'm sure you go and look for that. There was an Ethiopia airline that landed on sea some years back. And so many lives were saved by the effort of that pilot. And some people have also said that landing on sea is even much easier than landing on a bed. It takes some level of technicalities. But we thank God that no life was lost. And while we give the Bureau the chance to investigate what happened, but it could have been worse. Because if you remember vividly, the past crashes we've had, I can't forget the Dana air crash in Lagos.
That's the Dana, yes.
Everybody, it was a massive...
It came down in
also
the Jew area.
The Jew area. Just
in a built-up area. It killed many people.
You remember...
Can you imagine being inside your house and losing your life?
Remember the Hercules that crashed land with all the majors.
Ejigbo.
Yes.
It crashed.
It crashed. Just on taking off.
And not forgetting the Sosoliso
that
somewhere around there.
You know that the Sosoliso that I was one of those that missed the Sosoliso flight. I had a ticket to that flight. That unfortunately it's God's.
That one is, you know, that anytime I remember that crash, I feel sad because they had already, they were already at the airport. This is a crash that happened at the airport. Caught fire, yet we could not save lives.
No emergency response.
Let me just give you a 30-second.
How can your parents are down, they're on the tarmac, they are looking at the plane.
Burning.
They can see, seeing that their children have come. You know, the children of those schools in Abuja, Loyola Jesuit. So they were looking at them. They were in Port Harcourt. They were looking at the plane about to land.
Yes.
And then it crashed into the drainage in the airport.
And we do have emergency response.
So let me, as I was saying, I was built to be on that flight. I had a confirmed ticket for that Sosoliso flight. I was flying from Abuja to Port Harcourt, then Port Harcourt to come to Lagos. That was the flight. And on getting to the airport that day, Providence, because at the tail end of the distance, it was like Sosoliso had a booking from that school. So some of us that bought the tickets were not allowed to fly. We are now asked to wait till the next day. That was happened. And that was how I went back home.
You'd have been annoyed. What is happening? What is all this?
Only for us to wake up.
Not knowing that God...
So, but it is... and we also praise the NCAA and the aviation industry in Nigeria. In the past few years, they've tried, you know, and that is why you see, whenever they see any level of this thing, look at what they happened to one of the flights, like Mask and the rest of them. They had to drop them because of safety. In those days, they were not doing that. You will see, a plane take off now. It will land in Abuja. From Abuja, it take off to Kano. That was an airline that had just one plane. And it was flying all over Nigeria.
No, they had to. These days, you can't operate with one.
For you to operate, you cannot operate with one airplane. So we thank you.
I just hope that the investigation would help us stop this kind of crashes, especially of light aircraft.
Yes.
We've been having a number of them. You know, we're having a number of them.
Inside town?
Yes. There was one, too, that came down around Kishi.
There's one that
it was also a small aircraft, you know. So helicopters, especially.
In Lagoon now, in this thing, helicopter.
Yes.
That was one.
Then one in around Toyin.
Around Toyin.
That was one. That was an helicopter. Okay. But this one is not an helicopter. People are saying it's a helicopter, but it's not. It's actually a small light fixed-wing aircraft.
Moving on, it appears.